What's up guys, it's Mil here and welcome to theory lesson number 2. In the next few lessons we will talk about team archetypes, for example balance, offense, stall and weather. And in this one we will talk about balance. So what is balance about? On balance you have a few defensive Pokemon and a few offensive Pokemon. So the spread is mostly 3 defensive, 3 offensive Pokemon, or 4-2 or 2-4, the other way around. But these are less likely. 3-3 is mainly the most common spread. So, as you see here, I have 3 mainly defensive Pokemon and 3 mainly offensive Pokemon. These are to wall the main threats in OU, the main offensive threats, and I have these 3 to break almost all defensive Pokemon in OU. So I make sure I don't get walled and I make sure that I'm not overwhelmed. So the idea is to do everything at once. You have offense, you play offensively, and you play defensively from time to time. How to deal with defensive teams? With defensive teams, for these you have your offensive core and you try to break their team. This is how you play against defensive or stall. Marinifu, for example, is great against stall and also superior. How to play against offensive teams? Well, you try not to get overwhelmed by their offense and you try to wall them and then try to finish them with one of these 3. How do you play against other balanced cores, balanced teams? You try to wall their offense with your defense and you try to break their defense with your offense. As I said, you try to do everything at once. And what I tried to do with the team is I didn't want a team which is weak to Kyurem Black. And that's the reason why I choose to run Scizor. If that Kyurem doesn't have HP Fire, then I'm good. It walls it most of the time. Not most of the time, but it walls it. And then Hippowdon and Latias don't have a problem with it. Latias can deal with Keldeo, which is a threat to Scizor and Hippowdon. And Hippowdon is for Charizard X, Lopunny for example, and other physical Pokemon which these 2 cannot deal with. So I think these 3 are a good defensive core, which work together very nicely. One thing that balanced teams struggle with is matchup. So sometimes you cannot break a defensive team because they outplay you, or they have a wall that you cannot break, or a combination of walls you cannot break because they can't switch around in all times. And sometimes their offense is too strong, or they have a threat which you didn't cover because it's not that common. And that's the reason why you couldn't wall it. For example, if they run a Choice Banded Darmanitan, everything on my team gets 2-hit KO'd. And it gets a kill every time it comes in. But it's not something you should be worried about because there are so many threats in OU that you cannot cover all. And because the teams or the team members have so many roles, so many jobs in the team, they have almost too much to do. For example, Hippowdon has to deal with Talonflame, with Lopunny, with Diggersby or something, or very, very strong hitting Pokemon. And it is also a Stealth Rocker. So there are many jobs for each Pokemon. And you try to do everything at once. And that can be positive, but that can be negative too. So how do you play in theory with a balanced team? You try to not lose your defensive core when you play offense. Because you have to keep every member of your team, of your defensive core, healthy. Otherwise, it's just like you chop off a leg of a table. For example, if the opposing team has a Keldeo and I lose my Latias, it's very hard to play around then, because the only thing that can kill Keldeo is Thundurus. And I'm pretty sure they're going to switch out. And if it's scarfed, then you have a big problem because, you know, Hydropomp kills this, and Scizor can't do much back, and these three get outsped, and Secret Sword does a lot too. So if you play balance, it's very, very important that you keep your defense healthy. And also, for example, if you lose your Latias and the opposing team has a Charizard Y, then Charizard Y gets a kill every time it comes in. And that's the reason why many teams run Tyranitar or Pursuit Trapper with Charizard Y, because they want to get rid of Lati, they want to break one leg of your team, and then they can put in much work to the point where they almost won. I think I covered everything you can cover in theory.
This was theory lesson number 2. The next episode will be about offense. I hope you all enjoyed and see you next time.